Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Geek Shed podcast. I'm your host Chris, and with me as always is Tom.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Well, let's not leave it all out in the wind, let's just get out of the way. WrestleMania, the biggest event of the year, the showcase of the Immortals. What did you think?
I thought it was a lot better than last year's. Purely, mostly down to the fact there were spectators.
Yeah, fans were allowed back in, 25,000 I think it was.
Yeah.
It looked a lot more than that, when you looked on the footage.
I think they also used cardboard cutouts as well.
Yeah, probably to make it look full than it was.
Yeah.
See, last year's was really hard to compare because of the fact they could edit and cut out things and chop and change there and then. But with this one, they couldn't get away with it. So could you imagine what they could have done last year with Bray Wyatt's character?
A lot more.
Exactly.
But then again, would you have butchered it again?
Well, we're going to move on. We're going to talk about that today. That's definitely something we're going to talk about. WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2, did you have a particular preference? Which one you liked most?
I'm leaning towards Night 1.
Any reason for that?
I didn't like the WWE Championship, the one on the Raw. I didn't like that being up first.
It was the opener, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I hate when they do that because it kind of puts you in that mindset that this is probably going to go Bobby Lashley's way and it's going to be average because you've got nothing to compare against.
No. Because
you ask any wrestler, especially on WrestleMania, they don't want to go on first because if they watch the first 3 or 4 matches, they go, right, we've got to up our game to beat those matches.
Set the bar.
Exactly. And I don't think Lashley and Drew McIntyre set the bar.
No.
To be honest.
Unfortunately not, no. Oh, that was one I was looking forward to.
It was, yeah, I was looking forward to it. I don't think the story's been that great. The build up to it.
No.
I thought they should have kept it on Lashley, which they did. I didn't like the idea of Drew winning it back straight away because that means he's done that twice.
Twice, yeah.
So it's better that Lashley goes on a run to show the serious about him being a big player.
Yeah.
So yeah, that match was it was a weird one, wasn't it? It for an opener.
Yeah. And plus it was delayed.
Yeah, they had some rain showers in Tampa, didn't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, I don't know if you know this, but after the first night and all the problems with the rain and stuff, Tony Khan, AEW?
Yes, he is.
He actually said that, and I thought he was taking the mick, but he said put carpet down on the walkway to stop them from slipping.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but someone slipped on the way out. I'm not sure if they cut it. I can't remember who. It might have been Sasha Banks.
People alluded to it on Twitter, I think.
Yeah, someone did slip, and Tony Khan's been deadly serious, saying, "Look, to solve our issue that we had an open stadium event, we had carpet, and it stopped him from slipping." And I think the second night they did that because Randy Orton made a point of when he was coming down the ramp, he started sweeping his feet across the carpet before he got in the ring.
I seen that.
So he made a little joke, didn't he, about surfing as well?
Did he?
Yeah, he put his arms out a little bit as if he was surfing.
I seen him do something.
Yeah. So yeah, WrestleMania for me, it wasn't as the best it could have been.
No.
Looking back in hindsight, I think some of the matches were like booked too quick. There was no build up to them, no real meaning.
Yeah.
The Shane and Braun Strowman was one that sprung out of nowhere, and you could sort of tell they were going to do that with them, but it had no real meaning. Was that Night 1?
That was Night 1.
Yeah. I love what they did with Strowman ripping the cage up and pulling it back in. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that. But yeah, I think the whole night was just weird. I think it could have been better by miles. The first one without Taker, no Cena, which is probably a good thing. Hogan got booed.
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot. To be fair, especially the first night, a couple of times when people were trying to go to the seats, after it'd been raining, they'd put some of the artificial crowd effects on.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and I picked up on that when Hogan was getting booed. He was getting booed a lot, and by the sound of it, they were trying to drown that out.
So, yeah, I noticed that on night 2.
Yeah,
because
more so night 2.
Yeah, night 2, you could tell there was sort of like some sort of fake crowd noise trying to interfere with the boos.
You know, because it's the same one on record over and over again.
Yeah. Vince again messing around with stuff he doesn't need to. At the end of the day, the whole idea of fans is to show their emotion.
Yeah.
You can't force a story down someone's throat and say, you will watch this and you will enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, you've got to let your emotions be counted, haven't you, at the end of the day?
Plus the pain.
Yeah, I mean, there's some matches that I just didn't really like at all, but night 1 overall, I agree, was better than night 2.
Yeah.
The story with Sasha Banks,
Yeah.
and what's her name?
Bianca Belair.
Bianca Belair, of course. Yeah, she's really good, and that build up was done really well after she won the Women's Royal Rumble, and it's a good story for winning it. I knew Sasha Banks would drop it. I knew it was going to happen. I knew that was one of the titles. I thought AJ was going to be the one dropping his winning the title from the New Day. That was obvious. I didn't expect the US title to change hands.
I think we predicted that.
We did predict it, but because they're building Sheamus up as a brute, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I like to see that they're serious about Matt Riddle because he's really good.
Yeah.
And they pushed him right into that main event lad now, aren't they? I suppose maybe that's why they did it. Because they put him against Lashley, and that was a good match as well on Raw.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, overall, night 1, what was your favourite match?
To be honest with you, I quite like the Bad Money one.
The Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
He did really well, didn't he?
I'm not sure if it's my favourite, but in terms of a celebrity performing like that,
yeah. Do you know what? I had an idea.
Wow.
Because I've done a bit of research on him, and he's been a lifelong fan.
Yeah.
And I thought, and it's like me and you, if we got a chance to go in the ring and you'll love what they do, you're going to want to get involved properly, aren't you? So it's not like, I mean, I remember, what's the guy called out of Jackass? Steve-O. I remember when he came into it once on Raw, and he faced Umaga, and after Umaga had given a Samoan spike, he's laughing on the floor. And then Umaga saw it, and he actually started laying into him, and he was just laying on the floor laughing. Never again was he allowed back.
No.
Understandable.
Yeah.
When you've got someone like Umaga, you're building up to be this big monster.
Yeah.
And then you do that.
I don't remember that, but...
Yes, that was back in probably
a while ago.
07, 06.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was absolutely crazy how, he did that just to WWE, when especially his career was on a downward spiral at the time.
After Jackass.
Yeah, because they've done all the good stuff, haven't
Yeah.
they? They couldn't really go anywhere with it. But what they did with Bad Bunny was brilliant, because he's a big fan. He got involved. He wanted to learn, and you could tell the way the choreographed the match, the way they got together. They spoke about clearly what they're going to do before, as they always do, but more so with Bad Bunny. The Miz really sold the moves good.
Yeah.
John Morrison as well. Do you know what? If anyone you're going to work with, is probably the Miz.
Yeah.
The Miz is one of those people that can make you look good.
Absolutely.
I'm impressed with Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Where they go with Bad Bunny from here, I don't know, but he's definitely someone that could come in part-time, on big events and make a spectacle of the show.
I think they've thrown that tag team with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest together as a benefit to both.
Yeah, definitely. Is it Costa Rican?
I don't know, but like you said, he's just been called up from an NXT, so he needs something to do, look good at the same time.
Yeah, he couldn't have put the pairings together any better, really. That match. That's been brewing for a long time. That's an example of a really good match, good build-up, has a story, and you can invest in that story and you can get engrossed into it. A bit like any movie or TV series, where they've got multiple things going on, you're invested in it.
Yeah.
But there's some things there you just couldn't get invested in and didn't really care the outcome. And I'm sure the wrestlers themselves probably thought,
what's the point?
Exactly, what's the point? I mean, they're happy to be performing on WrestleMania, but I'm sure in the back of their mind thinking, what's this going to benefit from? Where do I go from this? I'm on the card for WrestleMania, but I'm going to be on Raw next week. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those that I'm guessing they'll probably question themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree. The Miz match was good. I really like the Shane McMahon match. The Braun Strowman.
That was night one. Yeah, I'd agree with that also.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah.
The main event obviously was amazing with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. They just stole the show.
Basically, yeah.
And what a better time to do it? And the main event of Mania is to steal it. Night 2, a bit of a balls up. I thought the camera work was really shoddy.
Again, especially with the Fiend match being first, I didn't like that.
Who was that again first?
The Fiend.
Match. The Fiend. That was first, wasn't it? I don't know why they did that.
I thought you put that nearer towards the end of the card.
I'll do obviously that. It's not going to main event. Obviously, they're always going to leave Edge there. Edge has got his show there.
But even second or third to last before that.
I'm really disappointed with the fact they had the Fiend, this really fantastic mystical character, and they had him walk down a little tunnel and then regenerate back to his old self. Why? That I kind of like where they were going with that Frankenstein look, like the way Alexa Bliss was able to call on him whenever she wants. So whenever she's backed into a corner, she calls her Frankenstein. He takes him out, and she's like his manager, and she deals with the promos and stuff. A bit like a Heyman character for him. And I just thought, even Bray must have thought, what is going on?
Yeah, I've always liked the original Fiend though, although the new one was cool. But yeah, you just don't know what they're doing with him.
No, I don't know what they're doing with him.
You don't really want them to spoil it, but
so
like how?
I know a little bit of something about this match. Apparently, it was a last-minute decision for Orton to win.
Vince.
Yes.
Okay.
Vince and one of his production crew. Apparently, right before the curtain, before they came out, it was decided that Orton was going to win. The only thing I've got a problem with is the matches he's had in the past, The Fiend, he's took an enormous amount of punishment. He's kicked out with finishes, chair shots. That comes to mind, that match with Seth Rollins he had, where he got stomped and stomped and stomped, and chair shot, and he kicked out every single time. He got one RKO and he was down 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
He had a couple of those rope DDTs that Orton does on him, and he jumped back up straight away, and I'm thinking, this is going to be a really tough match for Orton, and he's not going to be able to overcome it.
Was it a distraction, or was it her to some extent controlling him?
I don't know.
But even so, I think most people are in agreement it's a bit naff.
Yeah, the way they did really well with the burning stuff, and then they kind of ruined it now by saying, "Oh look, he's back to normal himself again,"
and that rivalry's gone, finished,
and it didn't have an outcome other than Orton winning.
No,
because Orton's now put himself in the title picture.
Yeah,
because apparently he was supposed to get time off after Mania. Not sure how long, but that's what I've heard of the PW Insider. For people who don't know who that is, he's a reporter in wrestling world. He has all the knowledge and backstage information.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. He was supposed to take time off, but then at the last minute, Vince pulled the plug on it and said, "Look, I want you in the title picture." He's probably not going to win it because the way it's going at the minute, because Strowman would look really good going against Lashley because of the fact Cam Lashley put him in the Hurt Lock.
Yeah,
that would be interesting. I don't want to see Drew and Lashley go ahead again.
I know, I agree, but it's been done twice already. So why would you want to see it straight after?
And I thought to myself, I wonder if this is going to go at the end with Strowman winning and then Orton and Drew going at it. But I thought that's been done.
Yeah, several times again.
Yeah, and people who are listening are probably thinking, yeah, but they've got good chemistry and that. They have, but how that rivalry was a year ago, and it lasted for months, and I don't think there's anything more they could do to tell a story on that. It's done with. You can't do any more punt kicks to the head. You can't put any more concussion storylines on Drew or his jaw.
Yeah,
he broke his jaw, didn't he? Apparently, in the story.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
You can't keep on pulling that out of the bag.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. Straight away when that was announced, I was leaning towards it, thinking it looked good with Braun and Lashley.
Yeah, definitely. Because Braun did steal the show, I thought, as well, in that cage match. I thought it was going to be a squash match. I didn't expect much of it, but both of them did really well.
Shane doing something stupid again.
Well, it's Shane McMahon, yeah. Being thrown off the top of the cage. I thought to myself, I mean, alright, Strowman's a big guy, and I saw him gripping hold of that wire that was holding the cage.
Yeah.
Because he didn't look comfortable being up there, to be fair. He looked like he was going to fall off. And then I thought, so the way he's going to throw him off, the way he stood, and Shane's not a light guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for one-handed throw him the way he did into a flip. It still looked good. Shane McMahon in it, he can make anything look good. I liked that match, I really did. On night 2, though, what did you think of the main event?
I thought it was okay.
It was just okay, wasn't it? It wasn't anything special. There was good parts.
There was.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, Roman Reigns, I don't think he can get any more over as a heel.
No,
he's done his job. He came in, he worked, done his job, and left.
Yeah,
no problem with that. My qualms would be with, in terms of the triple threat, it was good. The camera work was bad. If anyone's got like vertigo or generally motion sickness, you'd have to have a booking next year, because the camera just seemed to quickly change from angle to angle to angle, and they did it on Raw a couple of times as well, with the Braun Strowman, Lashley and Orton match.
This isn't a new thing they're doing now, is it?
I don't know, because normally when I'm going to use this example of Orton on Raw, he come out, he came down the ramp and he stood on the steps, and then he stood there, and normally the camera will be on him. It was stood in front of him, but filming him, his look on his face, and you know how big he looks. The camera's there to make him look bigger, innit? But they did that. Apart from the camera that was on him was the one from the side view, so the camera was filming the other cameraman filming Orton. If you watch it back, it just didn't make any sense.
It just doesn't make any sense. No.
And then the match itself, when I saw on Twitter, because I didn't know about the camera work until I saw it on Twitter, it didn't really bother me. And then I thought, you know what? Thinking about it, that camera work was bad. And then when I watched on Raw, I had that in my mind, and I saw how bad that was.
No.
It was bad. But going back to the triple threat, the double submission moves, they've been done. And when Edge got Roman Reigns in the crossface, I thought any moment now Bryan's going to come over and do his signature submission, and they did, and it looked stupid.
Yeah, and at some point you knew there's probably going to be a double spear where they go into each other.
I didn't think they'd do that,
really?
To be fair, but they made it look good, because I thought it'd be too dangerous. I thought it'd be look dangerous, because you're risking the fact you're going to both head on to each other. But they did it perfectly well, and it pulled off. It looked good. Yeah. But the double submission move, it looked stupid. How Daniel Bryan and Edge look at each other, and then they just start headbutting each other, and no.
Yeah.
Out of 10, I'd probably give that a 4. They should have kept it Edge and Roman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that story has been being told since the Rumble. It's not got a match, Mania. How do we get a match? Oh, let's just throw him into the, the main event.
Just throw him in there. Yeah.
Maybe throw him into Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens match would have been better.
I like that though.
Well, that match?
Quite good, yeah.
Anything with Sami Zayn for me is just shit. To be fair.
To be fair, watching it from beginning to finish, there's a few moves in there that were quite not stuff you see every day. Like you watch.
Inside Out.
Exactly.
But it's Sami Zayn. I can't stand the guy. I hate him. I really do hate him.
I don't think there's anything he can do to win you over.
when I really got on the hating bandwagon, because I remember when he first came into it from NXT, the character, you could tell, right, he's not going to achieve great things, but he's going to be a really good mid-carder that you care about as a face. And I remember him having matches, I think it was Braun Strowman, and week on week he was getting battered.
Really?
And he was trying to prove a point that, because for a small guy, he can win. I remember Stephanie, it was when the Authority was about, and they kept booking him against Strowman.
Okay.
You not remember that?
No, I remember him going up against Strowman with a title, but that was more recently.
No, this was ages ago
Yeah.
when Rollins was champ.
Yeah.
And then eventually they turned him heel. And that was when I just thought, no, I can't stand him now. His mic skills are boring.
Yeah.
His music hits. His music shite.
It is shit.
And then he comes out, and I can only describe it, like, he looks like a complete prat. It does. He comes out, he's sort of throwing his legs around, kicking his legs around. Then he starts lying on the floor. It's like what he did at Mania when he came out, and they started punching around in a circle, throwing his fist out. And then did he at one point throw himself on the floor?
He did, yeah, and punching the floor.
Yeah, punch the floor. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You look like a tool. This is a guy that's on a good wage, getting TV time to act like a prat.
Yeah.
You could get anyone off the street to go and do what he did, probably better than he does. He just looks like a hobo. He looks like a tramp who's been given a contract to act like a prat.
Pretty much. I think that was good with what they did, Logan Paul.
There's
At
not
the
much
end-
difference between him and Sami Zayn, to be
Yeah.
fair. One's looks like a hobo prat and one's a rich prat.
No, exactly. But what I mean is, at the end, where he sort of turned and went to KO, like lifted his arm up, and everyone wanted him
You
to
saw
stunner
him
him.
stunner from a mile away.
Everyone wanted him to do that, and he did it.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
I think that match there, Kevin Owens will probably question himself. That story just came out of, 2 weeks
No way.
before?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not invested in it. They did really well. You know, that fake documentary's bringing out.
They did good at it showing that. That was quite funny.
Yeah, that was quite funny. They did a good job of that, the production. But it's just his character. I reckon if he went to NXT, if I saw Sami Zayn now, I'd say to him, I'll show him replays. I'll say, right, you're like a cock there, a cock there, a cock there, and a cock there. Get rid of that. Take 6 months leave. Go back to NXT. Reinvent yourself, and for God's sake, get a haircut.
And change his theme.
Change your theme.
But for some reason, I think that's over. With quite a few people, because you sing it, don't they?
Yeah, they went for a stage where back in the late 90s, early 2000s, everyone had a track where someone would sing it.
Yeah.
And then they went for a stage where everything was instrumental.
No, I do agree with that also, but I mean, the crowd sing it when he's coming out.
Oh,
Yeah, they
right,
did
yeah,
that
yeah,
to the
yeah.
tune of it.
Oh,
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know how it's over, but it is.
good. I hope his contract's over very shortly.
No, I mean it's over with the crowd. Like for some reason they're buying into it.
All round with the
Yeah.
crowd buy into it. Yeah, but this is you can't trust the crowd. These are the guys that say what? It's 20 years
Exactly.
old, you know.
Yeah.
They're still doing it.
Yeah, there's that old Fandango one as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, but that's different.
But that was okay.
That went worldwide. That
It
to
did
every
actually.
sport event going.
So even
Baseball, soccer,
Football matches over here.
for the Americans, soccer. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember Everton Football Club doing it.
yeah. Their supporters were singing it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't.
Although saying that, sorry,
Go on.
we play wrestling themes at half time at our ground, don't we?
At the Arsenal, yeah,
At
they
Arsenal
certainly
matches,
do.
Yeah.
They've had some random tracks by Kurt Angle, they've had Triple H.
It's Drew McIntyre, Kurt Angle. Pretty sure Rob Van Dam.
Yeah. That was a good segment with Matt Riddle and Rob Van Dam.
Yeah.
They're both clearly smoking cannabis, you know. And then Rob Van Dam pulled out his papers. Now, the reason why I like that is because when he was in the WWE with the wellness policy, he did get suspended a couple of times for smoking weed. RVD did. And he got pulled over, stoned once as well when he was driving. So I love how his business now, he's got his own cigarette papers. I think that's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, Sorry, just jog my mind back to that. I remember this segment, but what was said?
It wasn't really anything memorable. It was just more of a skit. One it backstage.
Yeah,
Hogan, RVD, and
Titus O'Neil. Was he?
Titus O'Neil was there.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That old pirate thing with dressed up as pirates. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I think especially Rob Van Dam was back in the day. He was like one of my favourites, and I actually watched the Hall of Fame just basically for him and Kane the other day.
I didn't watch Hall of Fame, but I saw the highlights of it at Mania.
Yeah, basically it was just for them to, like, absolutely.
So what we're on now? So we've done Sheamus, Matt Riddle. I think there's nothing memorable.
Well, one of the most memorable things was what he did with the Fiend, because
they ruined that character
completely. I mean, I was on Twitter the other day, and there's people thinking of specific theories.
Oh, go on. I like a good theory.
So one of them, it did actually capture my attention a little bit. One of them was saying that wasn't Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. So you told me this. They thought it was his brother, Bo Dallas.
They thought it was. There must have been at least 5-10 people saying that's definitely Bo.
Yeah, I can see why they'd say that, because they do look alike if they were covered up, but you can tell by the way Bray stands, his body structure, you can tell.
I think it was also because he's wearing a new attire, like a jacket. It wasn't open this time, it was like fully zipped up.
And he's got a new mask as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, they've said that as well. It's more white.
So there's something
seems wider. But anyway, with regards to that, people have shown that it was him because he was hand tattoo.
Yeah, exactly.
The way he was, handling himself around the ring.
I'll tell you what was a match we missed off that actually I enjoyed was the United States Championship match. Not United States, sorry, the Intercontinental.
Yeah, actually.
Biggie.
Yeah.
Apollo Crews. The whole theme was stupid. A Nigerian drum match.
Yeah, basically, they've done it before, haven't they?
Just put him in the ring. Just put him in the ring, no DQ.
Yeah.
Done. Because I was really impressed. I mean, I've always liked Apollo's in-ring capability. It's more of his mic skills that weren't that great. But now as a heel, I think anyone who's got confidence issues in the WWE or mic skill issues, be a heel first.
Just be a heel because you've got more freedom.
Yeah, you got more freedom. It's easier to piss people off than it is to make them happy.
I'm not caring about people liking you, so...
Yeah. The Cesaro and Rollins match, I didn't get invested with that.
That was like basic mid-card at best.
Yeah, it didn't captivate me at all.
There's no title, there's not much storyline. Basically skip all of his life, so...
I tell you what, I weren't very happy with either. I mean, I don't want to come across as really negative, but it was a negative show.
Which one?
The Ripley and Oscar match. I can't believe they took the title of Oscar.
Yeah, especially for the debut match. Especially like when you build Oscar up to be how
as good as she is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
they ruined her, didn't they? They had her champion for ages, and then they took it off. Like in NXT 2 years, she had the title run or something.
Yeah, she went unbeaten for a certain amount of time.
But the women's tag team match was good. The Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, and Natalya and Tamina.
It's alright.
It was nothing special, but it was one of those matches that, I mean, I really like Nia Jax. You never know what you're going to get with her.
Yeah.
You know, a bit of comedy, and she's a bit of a brute. And I was looking forward to squaring off with Tamina, and Tamina showed some skill.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that. But yeah, with the women's title match, I was disappointed that Asuka lost it. That should have been built up for another month or so.
Yeah. I tell you what did make quite a few people up in arms about where was Sheamus and where was AJ and Omos on Raw.
Ooh,
nowhere to be seen.
Well, let's come to that in a bit. We'll talk about Raw.
Absolutely.
We want the fallout on Raw and the aftermath. We'll talk about that for sure. So, anything else you want to add to WrestleMania? Any other things you can think of that you didn't like or did like?
There were just too many matches that seemed just to
pointless.
Exactly. There's no storyline, and it just seemed to pass the time. Just to put them two together, or three.
So I really like matches that have, like I say, they've got a big build up and you can't wait for the outcome, the finish.
I mean, there was a WrestleMania from back in the day, I don't know when it was, but the card was put on social media from ages ago, and it was stacked, literally with stars, great matches. But
I'll tell you what, I will give WrestleMania, one big positive. There was no Goldberg.
yes,
Happy days. No one died, or should have nearly died, at the hands of Goldberg from a dodgy jackhammer. Jesus.
and it was basically not 5 minutes wasted watching a match that was, was going to be over.
Make a brew. Goldberg comes out, you go make a brew.
Make a brew.
So I think that crosses off WrestleMania. Let us know what you guys think. We're on Twitter, the Geek Shed Pod. We've got an email address, the Geek Shed Podcast 2021 at gmail.com. It's in the link on YouTube on the About Us section. Leave a comment on the podcast. We want to know what your thoughts were. What did you like? What did you like? What didn't you like? We want to know everything. So yeah, that sums up WrestleMania. Okay, so moving on, we're going to have a little talk about the aftermath that was Raw. So, Raw, the night after WrestleMania, I was really
It was poor.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Like you just said earlier, Sheamus was missing, Apollo was missing, and who else?
Almost and AJ.
Oh, sorry, Almost and AJ. Yeah, all three of them just won titles. Let's not have them on Raw the following night.
No.
Makes no sense.
I mean, in regards to it being a Raw episode, it was average, but comparing it to Raw after Mania, which has been bigged up a lot of times previously, there was nothing about it really.
There wasn't, was there? Not past Raws have been way better after WrestleMania. But like the one thing there is you've got three guys that have just won titles, and they're heels.
Yeah,
they should be coming out boasting.
Yeah,
and they didn't do it.
At least one set of them.
At least someone come out with a belt and start boasting, especially if you're a heel. I didn't like the Drew McIntyre thing again with Lashley. I thought that was the end of that. It's clearly not. It's going to go on for a bit longer. Lashley's doing a great job. Drew is, to be fair, but I just don't think the story can go any further than it is. I'd like to see someone else come and take a shot now. And like they say with earlier Strowman, I think that'd be a big money grabber. Unless Vince is thinking later this year maybe to have Strowman involved. I can see Drew chasing it but not winning it back.
No, I think that's a bit obvious. He's probably going to win it back. People are saying.
You reckon?
That's what people are saying on Twitter because they didn't want Lashley losing it straight away after he's already won it. So
makes sense.
Let him win at least once while he's holding it.
Yeah, but where does it end then? Because when Drew wins it, Lashley's going to want a rematch. It's going to go on,
isn't it?
Charlotte's back.
Yeah.
And ruined a perfectly good title match.
Yeah, I don't think that was the return people were hoping for, but
no, I didn't expect that. People comment on her look as well. They said that there seems to have had a change. Maybe she's had surgery. I don't know.
Didn't pick up on that.
No, I was just browsing Twitter and I saw a couple of people say she looks different. She even commented on someone on Twitter about her. Someone said something about her appearance and she questioned it back as to whoever this guy was. Fair play. I mean, I'm not really interested in her look. I mean, she's Charlotte Flair. She is what she is. She's a daughter of Ric Flair. She has got an amazing talent in ring. She's done everything, and she's put the women's league on another map. Yeah, or helped do that.
Helps do that.
Yeah, without a doubt. Matches with Asuka have been absolutely amazing. Becky Lynch, that rivalry was brilliant. So yeah, I'm glad she's back, and it's obviously going to go down the route of that's got a triple threat written all over it.
Yeah, surely.
And the next pay-per-view Backlash,
which is WrestleMania Backlash.
So we had the discussion earlier, didn't we? Before we started the podcast.
Yeah.
Apparently, for those of you who don't know, they're going to go with naming every show. I'm not sure for how long, But WrestleMania Raw, WrestleMania NXT, WrestleMania SmackDown, WrestleMania Backlash, basically they're stamping WrestleMania on everything. I don't get that decision.
One way to boost your product.
It is,
but it's still poor all the same. Like, yeah, WrestleMania is WrestleMania.
If you've done something that's amazing, then yeah, boast. But this is one of the worst WrestleManias for a long time, and they're trying to push that.
Even then, you don't put the name next to another pay-per-view.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
It's fine when they do WrestleMania tours after the WrestleMania house shows. Well, I've been to a couple when they've come over to England, but it doesn't make sense to name it another pay-per-view. I don't get what they're doing with that.
No, it just seems like some people, they're just given the freedom to do what they want, especially the creative side of things.
No, they've not got freedom. It's Vince.
Well, yeah, more so.
Vince is doing everything. He's pulling the strings.
But I don't understand the thought process behind it. Then surely he knows people aren't going to like that.
I think it's got something to do with the broadcast in the US. USA Network and pay-per-view buys. It's going to be some sort of subliminal tactic to get people to buy more pay-per-views, maybe.
Yeah. Well,
because if you say, oh, Backlash, this person's fighting, this title's up for grabs, people are like, all right, cool. Oh, but this year it's WrestleMania Backlash and these are fighting.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're selling more, but you're not.
No.
I know a lot about sales and how to do it and tactics about trying to get people to buy. That's what they're doing. It's probably because the ratings are not that great. They're now getting people back into arenas and stadiums. So they're trying to sell tickets. Because before lockdown, I mean, I've been to Raw and SmackDown over here in England, and they've had to cover one side of the arena in black sheets because they couldn't fill it. And I've been to a lot of events when they call it to England. I've never seen struggle to fill it. Never.
Okay.
But last couple of times I've been, I think I went with my daughter last time on our own, and I was shocked. The whole upper tier was empty. They covered it in black sheets. So basically what they tried to do is fill one side of the arena where the camera films. Yeah. Behind the camera, there's barely anyone there.
Yeah.
And it's not been like that when I've seen. I mean, because the UK's got a massive fan base. I don't know. I can't. Is it the current product?
Well, usually when we've been, it's more so Raw that's sold out, and then we've been to SmackDown like the night later, and it's not been as full, but it's still been quite full all the same.
It's a bit. With Raw and SmackDown, I don't like it when they come over to the UK, for example. I don't like it when they do it on separate nights because it's not live; it's a taping anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they don't do Raw and SmackDown in one night. Because I've been there.
Just make the tickets a little bit more expensive for
exactly. I've been there before where they've done Raw and SmackDown in one night. Not Raw and SmackDown. They've done 2 Raws in one night.
You've said this, yeah.
Or they've done 2 SmackDowns in one night. Because I remember getting really confused. They did the opening. They had the SmackDown for an hour and a half, and then all of a sudden you've got the next SmackDown. I'm thinking. I remember it was Undertaker coming out, and Jeff Hardy was coming out to challenge him, where he went through his whole Enigma version of himself and the face paint. And I remember thinking, this is the opening to another SmackDown. They didn't do all the pyro and stuff because I'm guessing they were copying the early one because it's in the same arena.
Yeah.
Makes sense, doesn't it? Same people, nothing's changed apart from I was knackered. It was 4.5 hours because you had the Velocity before it, I think it was.
Something like basically Superstars.
Yeah, like Superstars or main event. Yeah. That was an hour. And then you've got another 4.5 hours. Oh. Wow.
Well, just changing it slightly. I did do a bit of research on the internet on norduk.com.
Oh, I go to that website quite a lot.
Yeah, that you introduced it.
No, I did. Yep.
You said, yeah. So I was reading up on CM Punk. Apparently he had an interview about the Jericho AEW Broken Skull Sessions stuff.
Oh, okay.
And he said basically a valid point. It just proves Vince doesn't rate AEW. He's not frightened. He's not scared of him. Basically.
That's what I said last week.
That's what you said.
That's what I said last week. The problem with AEW, if they've exploded onto the scene, but they've gone a bit like WCW did, where they've got the talent that nobody wanted, or they were coming to the end of the careers, the twilight years in the ring. That's a bad thing because at that point then you can't really guarantee a prolonged story because an injury could happen.
Yeah.
To give you an example, Sting and Rollins in WWE. Sting pretty much retired, but I've heard is he coming back now?
I'm pretty sure he's in AEW. I don't know whether he's competing, but he's been in that for a bit.
It just seems like they're getting all the has-beens when there's a lot of good young talent out there.
Yeah.
The problem you've got is Vince is affiliated with a lot of the circuits, like OVW.
Yeah.
That's theirs. They're like sister company. They bring all the talent for. That's where John Cena came from, Orton came from, Batista came from. They all came from there. CM Punk, big one from there. So yeah, I think with going forward, Raw, SmackDown, competing with AEW, it's a no-brainer. It's not a competition.
It is, isn't it?
Well, Vince certainly doesn't see it as a competition. Do you know what? He'll see it as a competition too late.
And then try and buy them out.
That exactly. You just hit the nail on it. I was just about to say that, and you just thought process. You took it from me and you said it exactly. He'll try and buy him out at that point.
Yeah.
But Tony Khan's a massive wrestling fan. He's not going to sell that.
He doesn't need the money either.
No.
No way.
No, he doesn't. So one of the big things that was on WrestleMania, and I don't think advertised on Raw, was WWE 2K22.
Oh yeah.
Quite shocked that they didn't really show any more of what they did.
On Raw as well, yeah. Did
they show on Raw?
They didn't show anything else.
I didn't think they did. No. At WrestleMania, didn't show off much. They just showed a quick clip with Cesaro and Mysterio.
Yeah.
So you know what? This year's going to make or break
For the game.
I'm a big fan of the game. I bought every single one of them since '99. Going back to Warzone, Attitude, then the SmackDown series, SmackDown versus Raw.
Yeah.
And the last one, 2020, I remember going out and buying the special edition, 70 quid. I played it twice. I got stung there. I got
£35
it was so bad.
ago.
Yeah, it was 35 quid ago. It's so bad. I went back to 2K19 in the end.
Did you?
Because the graphics weren't as bad and the textures and stuff weren't as bad. But this year they've got a lot to prove. I'll be buying it when it comes out. Day one, I'll buy it on release. I'll do research on it up until that point, just to make sure it's not going to be they've had a year off, literally a year off, and trying to plunge more crap at us.
Well, the graphics look good, but it's not much to go off. 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what happens with that as the months go on. So we did a Twitter poll last week. We asked you guys, would you prefer Raw to be 2 hours or 3 hours? And surprisingly, a massive amount decided 2 hours.
Unanimous. Well, is it surprisingly? Because you said it.
I don't think it is a surprise.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what the age groups were that's voted.
It was a surprise that many people voted it for 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it'd be closer.
Exactly,
let me get the actual figures. I think it was 70% voted for 2 hours. Let's bring Twitter up. Let's have a look. And one thing good to say while I'm on Twitter, guys, thank you so much for all the follows. Yeah. We've got 95 follows at the moment. Fantastic. We've got 14 views on the last video or podcast, 25 of the previous one.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Like I said, as long as one person's watching it, I'm doing it every week.
Yeah.
Right, let me go on Twitter on my timeline. There we go. 73%.
73%.
For 2 hours.
Yeah.
27 said 3 hours. Obviously, that 27% have a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah. I mean,
go on.
Surely they must be fast forwarding some of it.
I fast forward it all the time.
Same. You can't be sat there 3 hours watching.
No, absolutely not.
Some of the stuff on show.
Even when you watch a TV series, if it's an hour, you sort of after it, you're sort of like you're fulfilled and you're a bit drained, and then you want to go and do something different.
Yeah. Well, after 1 or 2 episodes, sometimes it's nice because 1 hour you're like finished, you got a choice whether to go on to the second one
Exactly.
or go and do something else.
Exactly. With Raw being 3 hours, and especially if it's a crap Raw, because it's episodic, you've got that problem with you wasted 3 hours of your life.
Yeah.
Watching crap.
Or 20 minutes, half an hour.
Well, I vote for 20 minutes, half an hour, because you can fast forward a lot of it.
Yeah.
Even some of the matches now, I find myself fast forwarding because the restrictions that Vince has put in place on certain moves and stuff.
I do have a question to put to you, which someone did say on Twitter also. Do you think they're saving some of the bigger stuff regarding storylines for the return of fans? Because even when there was fans there, it was still a little bit...
No, I'll tell you why. Even though there's no fans there, the USA Network want their coin.
Yeah.
They want their money. They can't afford to push out crap.
Yeah.
Because the USA Network will just drop them, and then they've got no network.
Yeah.
They've done some really hasty decisions recently. No one's happy with WWE Network on Peacock.
Peacock, no.
And I can see why people want a refund the £10 and not, or $10 and stop paying for it. Definitely 100%. I completely agree with them. I'd be devastated if I was paying £10 a month and it turns out they got rid of everything that's not PG.
Absolutely.
I'd be devastated because there's some, even the documentaries have been wind down because of the censorship. Some of the documentaries they got rid of. From what I've seen
on
and heard.
The network or Peacock?
Well, it's on Peacock now, isn't it? So I don't know how they refer to it in America. Do they just say I'm watching WWE Peacock? Or do they say I'm watching WWE Network? I don't know. What are you doing? Oh, I'm going to watch some Peacock. Because I'm guessing Peacock's the equivalent of Netflix.
It seems that way. I mean, is Peacock over here? Is it available over here?
No.
Is it not?
No. Thank God it's not, because if it was, we'd be sucked into this issue.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm pretty sure they refer to it as the WWE Network on Peacock. But
yeah, I think they do. That contract's probably long as well. I bet they've got about 5 years. Oh, Jesus Christ. Vince, get yourself into a care home, my young man, and get Triple H to take over with his beautiful wife Stephanie so they can actually push out some really good content. Stop making crap decisions. Stop making last minute decisions because you geriatric fuck, just decide to change things on a whim. That doesn't make any sense. Jesus Christ.
You okay now?
I'm venting. Do you know what? I love Vince McMahon. He's a god for the wrestling business. Yeah. What he's done for it. But when is enough? Because it's that old saying, if you're the hero long enough, you become the villain.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Vince is slowly becoming that villain because people, with social media now, there's more people able to say, you know, from around Vince, they can leak out information. Oh, Vince has done this and he said this, and some of it might be bullshit, but you know, it comes from different sources. It can't all be white lies. There's going to be stuff in that's the truth. And from what I've heard of wrestlers themselves, how they approach Vince, I remember listening to Edge and Christian's Pod of Awesomeness when they did that a couple of years ago, and I listened to every episode, and even they would say Vince has got this open door policy. He'll talk about anything, but if he doesn't like your idea, he doesn't like your idea. That's it. Look at the New Day, for example. They wanted the New Day to be something completely different. He didn't even want them together originally. It took months for the New Day to talk Vince in. Look, we're a trio, we're a group, we get on well, we've got good chemistry, give us that chance.
Yeah.
And it took months for that.
Just seems very stubborn.
But this is a man that introduced us to Lars Sullivan. This is a man that advertises a wrestler's return in September and they don't come back till July the following year. And Shelton Benjamin.
And they don't keep it a surprise.
Do you remember that? SmackDown, when it went to SmackDown Live and Shane was like bigging it up and going to be looking after it. It was his baby. They started advertising some stars coming back. Mysterio, I think, was one of them. And then they started advertising Shelton Benjamin coming back. Do you know what, actually? Let's speak about Shelton Benjamin for a few minutes, right?
Okay.
This guy's got NCAA background wrestling. He's got the same wrestling background as Brock Lesnar. He's athletic. He's Olympic style wrestling. Same with that Kurt Angle did. And at one point before he joined the Hurt Business, I don't know if you remember this, he just pop up in a segment backstage, rolling his eyes around, looking up and down, and then disappear off screen. Do you remember that?
No, I just remember him knocking about every so often.
Yeah, so he wouldn't have a match. It'd be someone being interviewed, like, I don't know, a mid-card, like, say, let's say Rey Mysterio's getting interviewed.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, Sean Benjamin would appear at the side of the camera. He'd sort of roll his eyes, look around, like this. Obviously, you guys can't see us, listen to it, but imagine rolling your... I'm sure you've seen it, but imagine rolling your eyes around, looking around with a little smirk on your face, and then walking away. That's all he did!
Oh.
And this guy's got wrestling talent.
Well, you thought he was going to burst onto the scene, like, be the next big thing when he beat Triple H.
Yes, so that was on Raw, wasn't it, when he split him and Charlie Haas up.
That was like his first stint in WWE, wasn't it?
They missed the ball there with him, I'm telling you. I'm not sure what the reason was why they didn't push him, but he could have gone far. His mic skills were a little bit to be wanted, but put him with a good mouthpiece, like a Heyman or someone, there you go.
A Paul Heyman guy, yeah. I'm pretty sure, didn't he leave WWE for a while?
He did, but that's obviously because that he went down the pecking order dramatically. Obviously said to himself that, you know, I'm going to be a member of the free NBA, I'm getting out now.
Run.
So, I think we've covered the Raw aftermath. Or lack of.
Lack of.
We'll both agree on that one.
What?
We agree on that one? Lack of aftermath?
Yeah.
Poor Raw?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you know what I'll tell you who's got it? I think SmackDown will outshine Raw this year.
Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised.
I know what, I bet SmackDown will be better than Raw this week.
Oh yeah, it has to be. It's not much standard set.
Yeah, I mean, you could pretty much put anything on in place of Raw and it'd be better.
Yeah.
Paint drying, one of them. So guys, that's everything on the Raw aftermaths. Brilliant. So, before we finish up, we've got another 10 minutes before we get to our hour point from our originally planned 30-minute podcast. They're going to be an hour.
Away at the moment.
They're going to be an hour. Vince, stop annoying us and we can have shorter podcast. So, we've talked about Mania. We've talked about Raw and SmackDown. What I'd like to know is, because we did get one question.
Okay.
We did put out last week that you can message us on Twitter, you can message us by email, or you can message us, using the comment section on the podcast.
Yeah. Obviously, I had another question. We spoke about it before, but...
We did?
Fire ahead.
So, who was your favourite wrestler growing up?
Yes.
So, you're going to probably have a shortlist.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what then, let's get the shortlist. Let's go your top three.
Top three, okay.
And then select them in order, third, second, first.
So, do you want me to go first?
Go first. Okay. I'm intrigued.
So, when I started watching it, it's a little bit after you, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, because you were like, what, 6?
Yeah.
Maybe younger when I started watching it.
So, probably The Rock, at standard though.
Yeah, The Rock was just hitting
Easy.
his peak when you started watching, wasn't it?
Yeah, so easy. Does it have to be when you was a kid?
It could be anyone from when you were a kid to now. If you've got someone now that you like who's better than... It's just your opinion. Yeah. Who do you think is the best for you? We might not agree, but...
When CM Punk was in it, CM Punk, straight away, he carried the company for years.
Yeah, he burst on that pipe bomb.
Yeah.
The pipe bomb changed his career.
Yeah. Now for third, not too sure.
But Austin, Kane.
Stone Cold, I forgot. Yeah.
Austin, Kane, Taker, Triple H. There's a few names. Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle.
There's a few close ones. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like the top 3, and then like
a top 10. Top 20.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys in like after top 3. There's probably like a top 50, and then so I'll do my top 3 then. So first and second spot, would be like a joint order. It'd be have to be Austin and The Rock.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That'd be mine as well. The Rock and Austin.
And I want to say Austin. I mean, pre running around with a guitar singing, hugging Vince McMahon. Before that,
About the time when he was it WCW Invasion and Raw?
it was just before that. In fact, one of my favourite Austin moments, other than the ones he's had at Mania, was his return. Well, it wasn't really a return. It was when he went from that hugging Vince McMahon's stupid storyline to coming back and destroying like 20 Invasion guys in the ring.
You don't see that now.
You don't. I never forget the SmackDown before Raw. You had Vince McMahon going, "Damn it, Austin, we want the old Stone Cold."
And he's sat in the bar.
And then on Raw, he was sat in a bar, and I think it was something the classy Freddie Blassie said that made him come back. I think I think the line was something like, "There's no harm in losing, but there is harm in not doing anything at all."
It's something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something on those lines. And then Austin came back in his truck, laid out loads of guys that were scrapping. Then all of a sudden, he come down to the ring after Raw guys were getting smashed. Well, I think it was Jericho, Kane, Taker.
They was in the ring, yeah.
Yeah, they were getting battered. And then all of a sudden, Austin comes down and levels the game. And Jim Ross's commentary was legendary. Absolutely legendary. So yeah, Austin and Rock would be like joint top, the joint on points.
Yep. Straight them two, Austin and The Rock, joint top, yeah. Both of us.
Is that for you as well?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So where does CM Punk come then? Are you going for third place for CM Punk?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So my third place.
It's in the top 5 or top 10.
So my third, I'd love to say Taker, but I wasn't a big fan because I came on like 9 years after he came. I love the American Badass because like I only saw like 3 months of the Phenom Taker version of the 99, and then he became the American Badass for a few years, Big Evil. So, and at that point there, he wasn't a main eventer as well. He's sort of mid card again.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Triple H purely because I absolutely hated. Sorry, I loved to hate him.
Yeah.
I loved it when you had 20,000 people call him an arsehole. And I never forget WrestleMania 2000 when nobody wanted him to keep that belt. I don't know if you remember the match. It was Mick Foley, The Rock, Big Show, Triple H. I think it was a battle. It was a battle royale, so it was elimination. So you had Mick who got eliminated. I think he went out first. Then Big Show went out. Then it came to Rock and Triple H because obviously the champion's always going to be last in the ring, and and then Triple H beat The Rock, pinned him, and I remember all the fans just chucking all the cups, the Coke cups and the beer cups and the popcorn, launching it in the ring. Never get away with it now, but he was the man to hate, and he pulled it off. By far, for me, the best heel. No one will come close. From when I've been watching it from '99 until now, I can't see anyone that's stepped up to that level as a heel that was hated that much.
No.
Every week I wanted to see him get pounded because I was a young guy at the time. I was like 13, 14. I was always on the good guys side. So when it came to Triple H, I'd love to hate him, and only when I've got older and I'm now rewatching all the old Raws and SmackDowns, I'm rooting for Triple H.
Yeah.
Because I just think his ability is just brilliant.
Yeah, to be fair, I'd probably change it and I'd put him third as well. I'd agree with you.
So you're Austin, Rock, Triple H?
The Rock and Austin joint top and Triple H straight after. Also, taking into account thinking that all that he's doing at the moment as well. Not just him as a superstar, but what he does for the company.
Yeah, without doubt. It's always had some sort of influence backstage, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Tough Enough and stuff like that when that was about.
Yeah. Even some of the other older guys, they still have a bit of a say.
Yeah, without doubt.
Around the back. But obviously not as much as him.
Oh yeah, well he's married to the boss's daughter and that. You're going to walk into a suit job, aren't you?
He's always going to be wearing a suit. Like, in a high row.
Brilliant. Well guys, thank you once again for tuning in to yet another episode of the Geek Shed podcast.
Which has gone a little bit longer than anticipated again.
Well, Yeah. Well, if they like it, and keep on pumping out for an hour. I'm happy with that. One thing I would say, it's not going to be always wrestling related. I think we've jumped on the bandwagon because WrestleMania season. I think we'll do a partial wrestling one next week to look at how SmackDown performed after Mania, and then we'll. I've got some ideas we'll want to do for like a film club. Okay,
possible debut soon.
He's going to debut soon. So my plan is this: I'm going to shortlist 4 films I have never seen and Tom's never seen, but I'm going to put it to a vote on Twitter which ones we watch, and then we both go away and watch it individually.
Yeah. And
then we talk about it on our podcast.
I hope it's gonna be good. Because I think you are as well.
Hey, whoa. Do not knock my movie.
No.
My movies that I pick.
No, your movies are great. I mean, the genre, I'm more set on comedy or action. I think you are as well.
Yeah, but I'm picking the 4 films, and then letting Twitter's going to pick one out of the 4.
If you've never seen them, though.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit difficult.
Yeah.
In fact, I won't watch everything, but there's a couple out there. There'll be definitely... I watched a film the other day, They Live.
Okay.
With Roddy Piper. 1988. Terribly bad. It's dated bad. But no doubt, at the time, there's a good film. And I've not seen that since I was 4. So for me, I-class, I'm not seeing that. So all I remember of it was that you put on sunglasses, you see aliens. When I rewatched it, there was much more to it.
Yeah.
To a point. But it was about putting sunglasses on, seeing aliens. But the point is that I've not seen that. That would outclass that. I've not seen it. So over the next couple of days, let's think of 4 films, stick them on Twitter. You pick 2, I'll pick 2, put them to Twitter, put them to the vote.
So I'm going to have to just go to you and say, have you seen this film?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll get 10 films. There's got to be 1 or 2 I've not seen. Netflix are pump. Netflix.
I've seen your list.
Yeah, but
It's
Netflix.
longer than Jericho's.
Netflix are pumping out films every week. Disney Plus has got quite a bit on there as well. So we'll figure something. Maybe we could watch a WWE production film.
Ooh.
Nah.
That's a waste of another 2 hours, 3 hours.
Vince, you're not stealing any more of my time. Anyway, that's it, guys, for today's podcast. As always, I'm your host, Chris, and I'm saying see you later.
And I'm Tom. Thank you for listening. See you later.